allows a bit of space for Lampard. Chipped it again towards Brooking, and it's there! Brooking has done it! Best again waiting in the middle for the header, and Robson was there too. Brooking is there, and Trevor Brooking. Now it'll come for Brooking, and a goal by Trevor Brooking. Brooking trying to send Collins one way, then the other. A curling one! Oh, wonderful goal! A lovely curling goal there by Trevor Brooking.
Well, I came here as a boy watching. That was late sort of 50s, Ted Fenton era, and we had our promotion season, 1957-58. Vic Keeble and John Dick up front, and Ernie Gregory in goal, different people. So it was an exciting time, and in those days we all came with our little stalls and so forth, where you could stand on a stall then and see over people, and they'd let the little ones go down the front. And then when the final whistle went, you'd hang around and then met up with my brother, who was a bit bigger and taller than me, and my dad. FA Cup '64, all right, beat Preston 3-2 in the final, but the one everyone remembers, obviously, semi-final, beating Manchester United, the Lord Cholton Best team that was great, and so that, and then '65 Cup Winners' Cup at Wembley, and then, as you say, all West Ham fans will say we won the World Cup because, of course, Bobby the captain, Jeff the hat-trick man, never ever repeated since, and Martin getting the other goal in the 4-2 victory. So the actual attention focused on the club in that period when I was just an apprentice and then going was amazing. Once I got your chance, you were a little bit overawed. I think it was one of those things when you get the ball, you quickly pass it on to one of them or one of the more experienced players rather than express yourself. It was very funny. My debut was at Burnley, who were a very good team in those days, and we actually drew 3-3 in my debut. I was Ron telling me, and he said, away from home, I think you'd be hopefully more relaxed. And of course, we played okay, and the 3 goal scorers were more Hurst and Peters, which was weird. There were 2 positions up to grabs for the younger ones, and then when the team lost, the 1 or 2 younger ones got rested rather than left out, and he brought in 1 or 2 of the others, and that got a bit frustrated. So I mean, there was a spell when I went on the transfer list at West Ham, believe it or not, and 1 or 2 equivalent of championship teams or second division as they would have been then came in, but were told by the club that they weren't going to let us go. The lucky thing happened is that they actually, start of a season, the first couple of games I wasn't playing, and Alan Stevenson was centre half with Bobby Moore, and then they bought Tommy Taylor, and they tried to play Tommy in midfield. In the first 2 or 3 games it didn't work, so they pushed Tommy then back to centre half where he'd been at Orient, left out Alan, and then I got a chance in midfield again, and then I had the little run in the team where we went unbeaten for a while, and that was it then. I never looked back. I've never left out the team, and you just got that confidence, and it went from there. But Bonzo came along as a right back initially, I think he did a great job there, but we all thought that energy he had, that could be sort of included in the midfield area, and so myself and Graham Padden was there, and Bonzo came in, and Bill was fantastic in there. I mean, he had his socks down, his boots, and in the 70s years, we all had our long hair, and I didn't have a beard. Everyone had beards other than myself, but long sideburns. We all thought we looked great, and the old shorts. And Bonzo was our buccaneer, really, apart from a great captain. And I always remember, because I was a creative player in midfield, the opposition usually marks me and have a man marker, and first 15 minutes or so they kick me up in the air a couple of times just to see whether I fancied joining into the remaining 70 minutes. And I always used to sort of pick myself up and look across at Bill and said, Bill, do you see what this fellow's doing to me? And Bill, next few minutes, had 1 or 2 meaty challenges on my man marker, and I suddenly realised then the next 70 minutes I got a bit more space. Bonzo was great for me in midfield. I learned a lot of things from him. He was a driving force. The defence of Parksy then was in goal, but Ray Stewart, Billy Bonds, Alvin Martin and Frank Lampard was the best defence 5 that I ever played with, and was a great impact on why we did well in those years that they were together. As a satisfaction and best, was probably on track for it because it was a semi-final. It was a massive game. They beat us 2-1 out there. Graham Padden got a great 25-yarder, so we got an away goal. I still remember, I think it would be a minute of added time. There was a scramble and Tommy Taylor kicked the ball off the line, and otherwise they'd have sort of had 3-2, and the away goal would have been out. So, but I just think nighttime football, Upton Park was great. That was some night. The place was rocking, and just to turn and just place the ball. It's one of those. It lives with you. In '80, Cloughie criticises, didn't he, because he said we should have gone up that year rather than the following year when we went up with a record points total. But by the time we got to the final, we knew we'd beaten Aston Villa, who went on to win the European Cup that year or two later. We beat Everton after 2 games, and you waited 4 games before Arsenal and Liverpool. John had his little game plan where we just played one up, sacrificed David Cross or Psycho, and put Pancho Stuart Pearson in midfield and brought a young 17-year-old Paul Allen to scamper around Liam Brady and not give him any space. We got the ball in midfield, we played it out wide, and to be fair then, at that stage, let Deb go on. He's always going to beat the man, get to the byline. Deb crossed it quite deep. Pat still came out a bit and he palmed it beyond, couldn't catch it, and luckily for us, it then ended up with the feet of David Cross, who had a quick shot at goal from the angle beyond the far post. While all this was happening, as you say, I'd hung back. Well, I sort of delayed my... I did get into that 6-yard box area, in the middle of the 6-yard box, and at that stage watched, as luck would have it, as we know most strikers, they don't pass in the penalty area, nor does Stuart. As we know, most times they miss the target, and so did Stuart. But he hit the shot quite well, and suddenly, goodness me, I thought, it's coming towards me. So he dragged the shot across the face of the goal, and if you're actually where the goal is, and if I stood still, it would have clipped me on the ear. But the power of the shot, I knew I just got to deflect it and divert it towards the goal. So I did that, and obviously fell backwards, and you're laughing thinking, you didn't know what you're doing. 19 years at the same club? No, I didn't expect that. All of us who have been lucky enough, to have that length of period at the time and know the fans, they're fantastically loyal. And the old chicken run was there, blimey, you could sway in bubbles, was a great when it was going well. If you were having a bad time and you were taking a throw in 2 yards, they'd also tell you what they thought of the current display. So it was something that those memories are unique, they are special, and as we leave the ground, it's going to be, a wrench, and we're lucky, all of us, who will have those memories. But the new stadium is going to be exciting, the football is being played, and it will create its own history. It's something that is with you, for your life, and you're all the better for it.